Hey guys, Magma here, and today we're back with a brand new video, and today we're going to be talking about The Disaster Artist, which is the new movie by James Franco, and this is based on the book The Disaster Artist, written by Greg Sestero, about the makings of a movie so famously known as being the worst movie of all time, like being so bad, it is good, and that's called The Room. The Room, everybody loves The Room, and I have to say The Room, I've seen it many times, and it's a movie that it's not like it is a bad movie when you look at all the technical stuff, the acting, the dubbing, all this stuff. But it's just so bad. It's like a body-changing experience. You watch it and you're just like, whoa. It's so bad. It is good. It's just like it is one of the most funniest movies of all time, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time just because of how bad it is. It is a good time. I really love The Room, so I'm really excited to see Disaster Artist here, because it has all this great source material, the book, the movie, all this stuff, and I saw it a few days ago and I thought it was good, but there's a lot more that could have been done to improve this, I think, because I see this movie and I see many things that could have been filled, and some things that are kind of just like, but we'll get into that right now. So I want to say what I really liked was James Franco's performance as Tommy Wiseau. Like, when you're watching the teaser trailer or something, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a joke performance, but James Franco performs Tommy Wiseau like an actual character, like he has, feelings, he portrays him as a human, which sometimes it's, easy to forget that Tommy Wiseau is a human with him acting so strange, as he's a really eccentric person, and there's just a lot of mystery surrounding Tommy Wiseau, as nobody knows how old he is, nobody knows where he's from, and nobody knows how he's got all this money that he, had to make The Room. So there's all this mystery surrounding him, which just makes him a better character for this movie. And again, James Franco portrays him really good here, It's just like, it's so good you don't even see James Franco, you just see Tommy Wiseau. So his performance was absolutely amazing. This is definitely like, the reason the movie is as good as it is because of James Franco's performance. But in saying James Franco, there's also the bad thing about the movie, and that's kind of the directing, there's nothing visually interesting. Let's say, for example, a movie like Ed Wood, you look at it, you can definitely tell that it's a Tim Burton movie, it's got like the lighting, it looks really nice, you got some scenes that look like, it's got that black and white noir aesthetic, like when they're in like the bar or something. It just looks really amazing, especially like how they get some cool shots, like how they light a scene with their headlights, and you're like, wow, that looks really cool, but it also makes sense in the story, as that's actually how they light the scene there. So you have all these cool, it's a man with a vision. Tim Burton in his prime, amazing director, and you could really see he's a skilled director, right? Now James Franco, did you know he was a director? And did you know he made like over 30 movies and you never heard of him? Well, that's because there's a reason for it, okay? They're really, like, his directing, there's nothing special about it. It's kind of just, it's really not special. Unspecial directing. And it feels like this movie had so much, like, it could have been a masterpiece. This could have been, like, competing for Best Picture, in the Oscars, because of the source material. And if you had, like, a skilled director doing this, oh my god, it could have been the best movie that came out this year, It would have been, like, again, it could be a masterpiece like movies like Ed Wood and Boogie Nights, which this movie, of course, has some inspiration from, especially from Ed Wood, and some from Boogie Nights, which you could tell, like, how they, did the sex scene. You can definitely tell, yes, this is taking inspiration from Boogie Nights, which is also directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. So again, another masterful director here. And James Franco is not a masterful director, so although he did an amazing performance, I wish I could have seen someone else direct the movie, but you can definitely tell this is his passion project. And that's why, like, that's, kind of a problem with the movie, is this is his, like, this is Seth Rogen, Dave Franco, James Franco. It feels like, yes, this is a movie, it's their passion, it's a passion project, so it feels like a fan film, and that's kind of like, that's what makes it just kind of being like this potential, just kind of being like, because it's hard to make a bad movie out of this, and they didn't make a bad movie, they made a good movie, but they didn't make like a masterpiece it could have been, you know what I mean? It's just, you have some things, and it's just like, oh, this could have been done better, oh, why didn't you do this, why did you do this, it's just so many things that you kind of like, it is well made, like the directing, it's fine, it has this kind of like documentary look to it when there's like handheld, which I didn't mind because, you know, making of the room is perfectly like okay to go with that entire handheld look for this, which usually I don't like it, but in this case, since it's about the making of a movie, I really like the handheld look of it. It's, you know, it's good, it's fine. I was like, okay, we're behind the scenes of the room, it makes us feel like we're actually there. Maybe this is like a documentary, just going for that kind of feel. But yeah, you know, that's really how it is. There's nothing like mind-popping, like visuals, like whoa, you know, nothing visually interesting. But the way it's filmed, you know, it's fine. There's also these celebrity cameos in the movie, which just feel like, oh my god, you know, it's just, why do you need all these celebrity cameos like Bryan Cranston, Zac Efron? It's just like, oh look, it's these celebrities, and just like, you don't need to force celebrity cameos in this movie. You have this like great source material that doesn't need all these celebrity cameos. Like, did movies like Ed Wood, you know, just have like random, you know, famous celebrities coming in? No, the only celebrities that would come in would really be the main cast. You know, you wouldn't just have like, oh look, there's, you know, like in this movie there's Zac Efron playing Chris R, which there's no reason for it except, oh look, it's a celebrity cameo, which I'm just like, oh come on, it really brings me out of the movie because it's a celebrity cameo, and I'm meant to be like immersed in this movie. Bryan Cranston's cameo is fine because he just plays himself. There's other celebrity cameos that just kind of bring me out of there because it's so obvious that they're not really playing a character, but they're just being a cameo. Like, of course, Zac Efron, who plays Chris R. It's like the entire joke is, oh look, it's Zac Efron. It's just, it brings me out of the movie when I see that kind of stuff. Because you can tell behind the movie there's just these people who love the room, and that's obviously evident in this terrible beginning opening. Like, you have all these people like Kevin Smith, J.J. Abrams talking about, you know, oh, The Room was such an amazing movie directed by this ambitious, you know, eccentric guy. Which, first off, you're trying to introduce people, like people who don't know what The Room is, and trying to explain it. It does a terrible job because never do they ever say, oh, The Room, it's a movie that is so bad, it's good. No, they just say, oh, it's just made by this weird guy, and it's really interesting, you know? Oh, what an interesting piece of cinema. It's just like, that's not how you do it, and, like, Jesus Christ, it was just awful, you know? Just having that entire beginning, so the beginning was really dumb and unnecessary. So you can definitely tell this feels like a fan film, you know? And then there's the ending. Oh my god, the ending was really dumb. Like, the ending is pretty much, you know, oh look, they're, you know, showing the premiere, which is shown all over in the posters, right? It's Tommy Wiseau, Greg Sestero, and the entire cast of The Room. And pretty much it starts out awkwardly, like, oh look, you know, watching this movie, oh, it's a bit awkward because of how bad it is. Then everyone just starts laughing out loud. Even when, like, scenes, like, nothing's happening, they're still laughing, and it's just so cheesy. And really, like, it's just, that's definitely not what happened. This, like, complete part, like, this entire part is so fake. Because, it's not, because how they show it is Tommy Wiseau is there, watching, you know, The Room with the entire premiere, and then he's just like, oh, I'm very sad because everybody making fun of this movie which I made, put my soul into. And then shortly after he's like, oh wait, no, everybody's laughing because they enjoy the movie. Ha, this always comedic movie as I intend it to. Ha 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 ha. It's just, no, it is so dumb because that's not what happened in real life, okay? Tommy Wiseau wasn't just like in his first premiere, like he's trying to show the entire history of The Room in all these premieres, and then you have the ending here which showcases all the premieres in just the first premiere. It's just really stupid. Like, a better way you could have done this is, okay, yeah, Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero, they like separated after the premiere, but then they notice how there's more premieres, you know, there's more people, you know, talking about the movie, being like, wow, this movie's really, like, it's so bad, it's good, and you see more people talking about it, and that gets people to watch it, you know, more. And you see, like, Tommy Wiseau just looks at this, and this is like, he slowly starts, you know, he becomes like upset, then he slowly starts to be like, oh, I made this movie and everyone love it. You know, it's like, that's a way better way of doing it. That's like the ending, that's how it could have been improved. It's just so easy, but they didn't try to put it all into just one premiere, which really doesn't work because it's not what happened, and it's so unrealistic and kind of just ruins the movie because it does have this like documentary look to it, which makes it more feel like, oh yeah, this is more real. But then the ending is just so cheesy, so I didn't like the ending. And there's also some parts which it's just like, why did they, you know, ignore these certain aspects? You know, like there's the dubbing, which some of the scenes, like, of course, they have these scenes perfectly recaptured from the room, which you're looking at, and as the directing standpoint, that's, like, really impressive, seeing how, oh, look how they, replicated this scene from the room, so amazing. And it's like, it looks really close, it just has the actors from the Disaster Artist in there, and it's just like, wow, it's really close. So I like that aspect of the directing, alongside the documentary look of it. But they ignored, like, the dubbing of scenes, like Tommy Wiseau. They didn't even, like, have James Franco be like, okay, I need to, dub my lines for this scene because I didn't like it. You didn't have that entire, like, thing going on. And you could even use audio from, like, actually, like, Tommy Wiseau saying it, and it's like, oh, so obvious, it's a dubbing,
You're lying, I never hit you. You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
It's just like, why didn't they do that? Because that's such a famous aspect to the movie, that it's so clearly dubbed, and how awkward the scenes are, like the pet shop, which also has some parts from the book which are, not here, like how the pet shop scene, and how, like, oh, we do this, but it's fine, I don't mind that much. But it feels like they ignored some certain aspects, like the dubbing, for example, which I'm just like, why? But yeah, that's pretty much my all short thoughts on this movie. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's good, but I wish it could have just, like, been what it truly... I'm glad this movie exists, but I wish it could have just been, like, all the source material it has. It could have been a masterpiece, like Ed Wood or Boogie Nights. But yeah, I'm, glad this movie exists, so that's been the end of this video. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like and share, and if you come across the channel for this time, why not subscribe, as we'll be making more videos, especially talking about movies coming out in 2017, when I make my end of year movie list, where I talk about the best movies and other movies, the best and worst movies of 2017, so make sure you look forward to that. That's been Magma Infinity signing out. Peace.